Hi everyone, Merendi here to give you your monthly Oracle card spiritual reading. So this month we're looking at March, and this month I was drawn to pick up a card deck called Angels and Ancestors by Kyle Gray. I'm really feeling like, because we're coming into autumn, even though, well, yeah, autumn is March, April, May. What am I talking about? I feel drawn to connect with our Mother Earth, our ancestors, the ground, animals, plants, trees, all of that. So, yeah, I felt drawn to use this deck for this month. And funnily enough, and you can't fake this stuff, the first card I pulled out was Autumn. Release the old and rest. I was just catching up with a girlfriend yesterday who's also a spiritualist, and we both agreed that this first part of the year has been a whirlwind for everyone. We thought coming in after Christmas and COVID, we would start the new year off quite slowly and a bit more relaxed, and it has not been that. Literally, we have all hit the ground running. So I feel we are being called to shed a lot of stuff. It seems like some of us still have not shed the crap from 2020. So this card being Autumn and saying release the old and rest is perfect. We are in a full moon on the, what date are we today? There's a full moon happening just before we head into March, so the 27th, 28th of Feb. It's not too late to set intentions or release. What we say is we release when it's a full moon. If you're reading this in the first week of March, you can still release any unwanted energy, negative thoughts, whatever, in that first week of March after the full moon. So this card is saying to me that, yeah, we need to release any pressure or expectation that's been weighing you down the last few months. I think there has been a big expectation that we need to be available to everyone and that we needed to be on task and present, but not in the spiritual sense, more the physical sense. March is probably the time for us to start getting rid of that stuff that's no longer serving us. So it's saying shed anything to help you recover before moving into a time of renewal. So with the autumn card, of course, we know, and not so much here in Australia, but definitely in the Northern Hemisphere, but they're moving into their spring. But it talks about the trees are preparing for the long winter. Now, I have a tree in my neighbour's backyard that backs onto my backyard. I swear I think it's like an oak tree because it does shed its leaves every autumn and it's beautiful to see. So it is a good reminder. And definitely in those states of Victoria and New South Wales and Tasmania, you guys have those trees that will shed their leaves, whereas here in Queensland, we don't tend to have that as much. So yeah, saying let go of anything that's weighing you down. Personally for me, I've just done that recently. I have been working for 3 or 4 different businesses just to make ends meet. And I came to the realization a few weeks ago, I can't keep this up. I'm burning out. So an opportunity came up for me to take on another role, and it fits with me perfectly. And so now, as of this week just gone, I was able to tell all those other companies, sorry, I'm going to be leaving. I've got this small, regular gig. And it's been a great experience. Like everyone's been really, oh, that's great, Merendi. Yeah, it's all been harmonious and not leaving on bad terms. It's all good terms, and everyone's like, you're welcome back anytime, which to me is good, because that's all I ever want, is to be able to leave a workplace on a happy term, not a bad term. And the last few years, leaving some of my workplaces have not been very good, and I'm sure a few of you can relate to that. So of course there was a lot of anxiousness associated with telling these businesses that I was leaving, and to get the positive response has made me feel lighter in myself. And of course it says when letting go of this stuff, you need to just surrender and trust that the universe, Mother Earth, whoever it is that you believe in, will deliver. Because as they say, as one door closes, another one opens. So you'll also see on here, it's a raven or a crow, depending on where you are and what you have. And he resembles that there's an opportunity to heal at this time. So in Celtic animal medicine, he is a bird of healing and initiation. And so the healing will brings a shift that allows you to move into a more powerful psychic space where you're able to be more aware of your needs, desires, and be better supported. Yeah, so if you're like me, I've had a really tumultuous time since November. And I'm off today to go and have a healing with a friend who does Reiki. So do what your heart desires. If it's just to go and sit in nature and meditate, do that. If it's to declutter your house, just to let out the negative energies and then sage it to, help clear the energies, do it. If it's to go and have a healing, do it. Whatever your heart is calling you to do, you need to be doing it this month in March. So that's the first card. So the second card that came out when I picked it up it's called Night. Be brave and honest. As I think you've heard me say in the last few months, 2021 adds up to a 5. 5 is associated with your throat chakra, and it's all about communication this year. My friend Sarah Yip/Anderson, who's now just had her baby, who's off, she said this year is the year that people get called out. So anyone who's been doing, well, I don't want to say nasty stuff, but not following their values or, trying to undermine others, this is the time they're going to get called out. You probably have seen in the media, there's a lot of people who are now stepping up and saying things, getting stuff off their chest. So this is a time for you to communicate how you're feeling, how other people's words, actions affect you. This year's also, I guess, the underdog is going to come up and speak out. So the card, asks for you to be brave and honest. It's asking you to do the right thing. So really think about your actions before you do something. Even if it's not an easy thing for you to do. It could be letting go of something. It could be just letting someone else not win a fight, but let them have their way. Because it's just going to take more energy from you to fight it. I guess the Knight, even though this not, he is kind of in shining armor. He's got a cloak over his stuff. So we know the analogy, knight in shining armor comes to rescue the maiden, that sort of thing. But this is calling on you. If you have a spirit guide who is a knight, this is the time to call upon them. And it's also saying that there is a warrior within yourself. It just needs to be released. And I think this year, 2021, being, a 5-year about communication, about your throat chakra, it's time to step up and speak out. When you hold on to stuff for too long, it festers and it causes you, it can come out in any ways. It can come out as, a physical ailment, or it could just cause you a lot of mental anguish. And this card also asks you to be willing to be vulnerable as well, because being brave and honest is about vulnerability, being honest and open with people. It's letting people into your little world, your circle. Yeah, and then there's roses at the back, which is also always an indication of love. So about self-love this month of March. And then finally, the third card is the Hunter. Good old Hunter. Track down your fears and desires, it says. Reminds me a bit of Braveheart because he's got the blue paint on his face. I don't know if you can see that. But isn't he a gorgeous man? I'd like him to be protecting me. So what it's also saying, and I think it comes back to releasing the old with that other card, is it's saying dig deep and find those fears, innate fears that you've probably been repressing and pushing down for so long. And when you find them, you should find your desires. So again, this month is a good month to get some help, whether it's Reiki healing or past life regression, hypnosis, some, journaling is another way to get this stuff out, because you've been suppressing it for so long, you probably have forgotten what your fears are. So yeah, just getting it out. It's about communicating it. Even if you don't communicate it with a person, writing it down makes it real. And again, if you're into ceremonies, definitely, try and link in with people in women's circles or people who do moon ritual circles, things like that, to help you with that process. Sometimes it's having someone guide you is a good way to do it. And I guess being the Hunter, he's fearless. So that's what it's saying, is when you face your fears, you become fearless. So coming face to face with it, stop repressing it and address it. And whether that is, as I said, going and having a Reiki healing, past life regression, seeing a counselor, a psychologist, talking to your doctor about stuff, talking to a trusted friend, it makes it feel less scary, is pretty much the message for today, for this month. So yeah, so this month is a lot about self-care, self-love, and resting. Definitely the month of March. I know we're not quite at Easter yet, and the kids have still got, well, here in Queensland, kids have still got 5 weeks of school, and we're already feeling the aftermath. Kids are tired, they're drained. I think there's just a lot of energy out there. So just try and protect yourself and your family as much as you can. And try not to, do too much in this month of March, and just rest as much as you can. It doesn't mean not going out, but choose wisely where you go. So don't go to a busy shopping centre or restaurant. Maybe go to a park or a bush reserve. The beach is such a happy place for so many people. Just take the time to reconnect with Mother Earth. Ground yourself. You need to be grounding yourself a lot this month of March. And when that happens, you'll see on the other side all these doors opening, all these opportunities coming towards you. Okay, that's it for March. I hope you have a blessed month. And remember that you can connect with me. I'm live every Tuesday night from, I'm normally live 8 o'clock Brisbane time, but I was told it should have been 8 o'clock Sydney time. But I think daylight savings coming in. But anyway, go to my my Facebook page, Merendi Holistic Healer, or visit my website, merendileverett.com. And I'm live every Tuesday giving out free readings and free education on numerology, crystal healing, and spiritualism. And if you want a reading, you can book via my website as well. I offer them face-to-face, and via Zoom, or I can do email readings as well. So if you feel drawn to have your own individual reading, by all means book it. And I'm also a Reiki healer. So if you're after Reiki healing or crystal healing, I can actually combine the two as well. Or past life regression. I keep forgetting that. I'm a past life regressionist as well. Or the other thing is maybe we just have an initial consult. If that's something you're not quite sure what you're drawn to, we can have an initial consult, do a card reading, do a bit of numerology, and from there we'll gauge what's going to suit you in terms of healing. All right, we'll see you next month, ladies and men. Thanks. Bye.